In the small, quiet town of Abbeville, Alabama, the legend of Huggin' Molly loomed like a dark cloud over the community. Whispers of a towering woman in black who roamed the streets at night to ensnare the unsuspecting in a suffocating embrace had been passed down for generations. Some dismissed it as a harmless tale, but curiosity had a way of taking hold, especially on still, moonlit nights. On one such evening, two teenagers ventured to the edge of town, drawn by a mix of boredom and the desire to prove the legend wrong. The air was cool, the silence broken only by the crunch of their footsteps on gravel. As they walked down a narrow road flanked by tall, shadowy trees, the atmosphere seemed to shift. The temperature dropped, and the surrounding darkness pressed in closer. The faint rustle of leaves came from the roadside, a sound too deliberate to be the wind. Both teens paused, their eyes scanning the shadows. From the blackness, a figure emerged, a tall, cloaked woman who seemed to float rather than walk. Her pale, otherworldly face gleamed faintly under the moonlight, and her outstretched arms beckoned with a haunting purpose. Frozen in place, one of them felt the chill of her presence before she enveloped him in an iron grip. The sensation was suffocating, as though the air itself had been stolen. His companion stood motionless, her heart pounding as she watched the figure lean closer to him. The silence was shattered with a piercing scream and a sound so unnatural and resonant that it reverberated through the trees and sent a shiver down the spines of both teens. In an instant, the figure released him and dissolved back into the darkness, leaving behind only the echo of her terrible cry. The two fled back towards town, their breaths ragged and minds reeling. The warmth of the familiar streets felt surreal after the icy, oppressive presence they had encountered. The legend of Huggin' Molly was no longer a distant story or a local myth. It was real, and the memory of that night would linger like a shadow in their lives, a chilling reminder of the unseen mysteries that sometimes walk among us.